cube. You want me to hang up the music, huh? Max B's bubbling. Mind you, he's older than me. What's up, Wi-Fi? Yo, we chilling. Welcome back, people. Welcome back in the building. You know, stream, as the title says, man, you know, if you got some unpopular opinions, we can debate about them today. You know, we got a few minutes. We can rip rap. You know? Like for example, can you guys see me clearly? Oh shit. Let's put that here. Anybody following that Dwight Howard drama? Anybody following the Dwight Howard drama? It's not a scam. It's a tool. You know? So, there are many professions. Hopefully you choose the one that makes money, because once you make the money, it's easy to be an entrepreneur. Funding an apartment complex. You know what I mean? You could be an engineer funding a hospital. You know what I'm saying? But you have the means to make those kind of decisions because you have a trade under your belt. And the trade pays well, which is what college is supposed to do for you, you know? Put you in a situation where you have a trade that pays you well, and now you have the tool, the money-making tool. From here on out, it's up to you to you what you do with it. Maybe you build a house and have a family and chill. Maybe you use the money to invest in the music business, you know what I mean, and become a producer. Next thing you know, you know what I mean, put some billboards up. Or maybe you use the money to be an entrepreneur. But now you can afford to do it, you know? And that's a fallacy right there. It's like, whoever doesn't get that when they're going to school, if you don't, and for the most part, I didn't even get it. But, you know, today my bills are X high, and I only make X high. And so he's like, damn, unless you're fortunate, and even when you're fortunate in a situation which is unique, whatever that situation is, if you're in a unique situation which now you're fortunate to make so much more, you still need to remember that, the reality is in, what's the word? What you can depend on are your abilities, right? So if you can, whatever it is, whatever trade you have underneath your belt, that's something you could depend on, something that's specific to you. If you lose a great opportunity, like the basketball player, what's his name? Telfair, whatever his name is, something Telfair. I mean, this kid found himself moving back to the hood. He was in a unique situation, basketball. When basketball goes south, he has no other skills. He said no one's going to have a job by 2030. Nah, actually they will. They damn sure will. They definitely will. %90 of the population has nothing to do with online. 90% of people have nothing to do with online. 90%. Most people have nothing to do with the online world. So, you're definitely going to have to find something to do with those 90 people. 90%, in other words. With that 90%, that is. So I saw a post where the basketball player, Dwight Howard's wife, is leaving him, right? And I see her, she's crying, explaining why she's leaving. She's made this long post on the internet about why she's had enough. They've only been married 6 months. Anyway, I'll get to that in a little bit. Nah, when you see your friends have all the skills in the world, like what skills do they have? I mean, it's not just about having the skill. You got to be in a job market. I mean, you're in a job market. So, I mean, you just learning how to push a piece of paper, that's doing nothing for nobody. You need to find something that people need. A plumber is always needed, right? A nurse is always needed. A doctor is always needed. A lawyer. You can't just be over here on some philosophy. You can't just be over here on some philosophy and you think that cuts it. Let's light this blunt up, man. Let's light this blunt up. Yeah, Black Mile, baby. Nah, I don't remember. How would I remember that? I don't even know who you are. How would I remember that? What? Man, shut up. That's crazy. Nah, that's an insult. What you have to remember is the genius with the art is what sold when it comes to Tupac, that is, right? So you say another unpopular opinion is that Tupac is more influential than technical skills, and his legend status comes from the story and the murder of Tupac Shakur. That's crazy that you would even dare. But here we are. The genius in the music is what made people pay attention first of all. Like, he's the first rapper who made you pay attention to the lyrics. It wasn't just rhyme. They weren't just, like, he wasn't just rhyming, right? When you listen to the lyrics, you actually heard a story of things you could actually research, right? But before you even get there, when the sound came on the microphone, when you heard the voice, when you heard it was very strong. So that's before anything. And then the words that follow were like, you felt like you were almost in some kind of a war zone, like a real story that with so many twists and turns. Like, and so when you follow the lyrics, you're like, oh shit, did this really happen? Now, that's when you follow the lyrics. But the order in which he's placing those rhymes, the order, the flow he's using, the way he's riding the beat, the music about it, phenomenal. So that's first and foremost that's the reason you decided to give a fuck about his story. That's the reason you cared about his mom. That's the reason all the things that follow was because the product was just so good. And so you give a fuck about everything else. If it's a whack artist, nobody gives a fuck about your mom. A whack artist, no one cares about it. That's your problem, nigga. Like, fuck out of here. I don't want to hear that shit. Case closed. So, yeah, I mean, don't ever, like, he was the most, don't ever dumb down. Like, that guy, listen, that's one artist, right? Not only are his stories still being told, but every time you hear the story about him, it's something crazy. It's just like, they were living fast, long story short. he made himself a symbol. Nobody gives a you ain't nobody's symbol. You have to be, listen, to become a symbol, you have to be speaking you speak to the heart of the people. Right? So no, he just had a really good way of phrasing his words. And it wasn't just the words, it was the way they were uttered. And it wasn't just the way they were uttered, it was the sound of the voice, especially the sound of the voice. When he came on the microphone, even in the background, when you hear songs where listen, man, don't. Buck was it. Listen, Biggie had the same thing. They don't even have to be on the song rapping. You could just hear them in the background, like just whatever they did just to back that. Once you heard, there was just something about it. Every time that voice came on, you could tell a supreme energy. You know, you could just tell it. It was just a different octave. You know what I mean? It was just a different octave. You're just like, oh, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? Like, what was that? So if you don't have that, it's kind of like, now you got to make sure you got great lyrics and great wordplay and all that. So it was for that reason Jay-Z could never top Biggie and Tupac, because Jay had the lyrics, he just didn't have that voice, right? So forever in the day, when you have somebody talking that shit and he has the voice to match, nah, it's like when Jay came on, it was like, you know what I mean? When Jay came on, it was like, because they're like, yeah, versus, there was just something about it I can't explain. But that means he's 25. He's a legend at 25. Right? He's a legend at 25. So, frozen in time, you can call it what you want to call it. But, I mean, you know what I mean? He was able to attain heights ingrained in the music, which artists today are still trying. I mean, he did it without even knowing he had such a short run. You know what I mean? Without even knowing he had such a short run. You got to give the kid props. You got to give him a lot of props. But it was the perfect storm, you know. If there's anything I can say about that kid, it was the perfect storm. Because just having talent is not enough. To meet the right people is not enough. To meet the right people. You know, the right everything, really. I mean, he had a very unique situation. You know, you have the right guitars. I mean, they're paying for it. You know, the right people on the chorus, and everything is ready to go. We're recording now. Write your rap. Let's go. Studio right here. Musician right here. Guitarist right here. Let's do it now. It's not like, oh man, that's going to cost me $1,000. First, let me clock in, or let me save up for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? It's just, he didn't get that experience. He didn't get that. He was very fortunate in that sense. Nah, Extension is don't bring X's name in a Tupac conversation. Again, he doesn't come close to the fucking, he doesn't come close to it. The energy I'm referring to, he doesn't come close to it. Like, those are the guys on the outskirts. Little homie type shit. You know? He doesn't come close to it. It's all bubblegum when you hear the right voice on the microphone. At least for me anyway. But X died young. People don't even relate to X. Listen, they talk more about Tupac than they talk about X. Right? They're still talking more about Pac's death than they do any other rapper. Honestly, all these rappers that have been dead and gone, Pac's name always still comes up. He pioneered a lot of culture. Nah, that's a problem with a lot of fans. Skills and intricate wordplay and da-da-da-da. Nah, the thing is this: when you open your mouth and you're speaking, whatever the fuck it is you're saying, are we able to like vibe to it? Like, or you're like, you know, you get the stupid face, number one. So that means it's riding the beat perfectly. And the words are just like, they came straight out of a motherfucking Shakespeare, but streetwise. Oh, man. Come on, man. Like, people are worried about dropping little crazy metaphors. Well, guess what? In this kind of realm, that's what dumbs your shit down to an extent, right? It's almost like, yeah. Because you're on that Nas shit, right? Now you're trying to be all, yeah, technically, I do this like this, and I'm bigger than the giraffe, and I do this just like this, and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's cool, but the guy who comes in riding the beat and talking about things that you can actually feel, saying things that you've said yourself, posing you scenarios that you've thought about, putting you in circumstances that you can't believe are even true. When they speak, you relate immediately. That's another skill, right? It's not just about rapping up and down the place, right? Like, you have to be able to make in such a way that a whole paragraph fits into one line. You gave one line and it said everything 6 paragraphs would have said. You know what I mean? You're condensing it. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you have a point and you condense it. You make sure the point is not so wordy. You know what I mean? Make sure the point is not so wordy. Before you know it, 6 lines become 2 lines because you found such a witty way to say the whole thing. You know what I mean? On to the next concept. So before you know it, and Pac was really good at that. You know what I mean? He was really good at that. So, I could go on for days. But for what it's worth, of course, people are still gonna, in time, everybody gets amnesia. So I'm not surprised. Oh shit! Nah, I didn't hear about that one. What happened? A Muslim in New York with a nail bomb? Holy shit. Always. Definitely. Muslim, New York. Nail bomb. No, I didn't hear about it. What happened though? Shoosh. What happened with the nail bomb?
Firebombs at 5 different sites, all due to personal grievances against the locations. One of them was this Islamic cultural center in Queens, where 80 people were worshiping Sunday night. We out here in them.
You know, I'm out here. I mean, I see a bunch of things about a bunch of things. I don't know which one is the nail bomb attack. But nothing is labeled nail bomb.
Here in New York, 6 people are in police custody following protests at Mayor Zohran Mamdani's residence. Suspicious devices were launched into a crowd outside Gracie Mansion. This happened Saturday afternoon.
What the fuck is wrong with this shit?
To those arrests. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza has been following all of the latest details. Marcus, good morning. You're live at Gracie Mansion. What's the latest?
Hey, Anna, good morning. Yeah, this is where it took place yesterday afternoon. You mentioned it. 6 arrests so far. 2 of those arrested are connected to the 2.
On Twitter. I don't know why this phone is not turning on. Twitter. Let's go to X. Official site. Man, come on. Nah. I mean, it's not like we got beef, but I don't talk to any of those people. Skip for now, goddamn. Skip for now. Okay, let's go with that. Did he play a part? Nah, I don't think so. He had the conversation with Keefe D. He did that. He told him he would give him $1 million. He did that. those cats did not do anything about it. They probably didn't even take him serious. You know what I mean? Only after they got beat up, right? After their mans gets beat up, now they want to go shoot Pac, and then it's spin around and ask Puffy for the money. I think they just took advantage of him. You know what I mean? He's the rich guy with no, you know what I mean? And they were the muscle, so they pretty much took advantage of him. So, yeah, people would say, of course, you had a part to play in the Pac's death because you made the proposal. I say, yeah, but Pac and his people were actively looking for Diddy, right? They made his friends drink piss. I mean, they were actively looking for their addresses in Los Angeles. So, you know it's beef. What do you expect them to do? You know? Whatever. No. You said what? What I think of what? T.I. raps the track against 50. I think 50's on was better. I think 50's on was better. If I'm not mistaken, unless it's AI, but I think his own was better. Plus, it's gonna go on the movie. I think 50's on was better. Yeah, 50's on was much better. But you know, it's rich nigga talk, man. Those cats are empires on their own. So yeah, Papoose' own was good. Yeah. I don't know why my other phone wouldn't turn on, man. But Papoose' response was fucking bananas. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you do it. Like, that's how you do it. Chicks, come. Kendrick. We were measuring them to greatness. You know what I'm saying? I definitely don't dislike him. I think he's definitely a jewel. But, don't put him next to Drake, because that's just bullshit. That's just bullshit. You got your own lane. We respect you in that lane, and that's that. Don't be trying to bring your shit next to Drake. That's just not smart, They're not even. It's same thing on Twitch. They're not unbanning my account. I think I tried there a couple months back. They're not unbanning the account. It's all good though. Respect for character and integrity. Kendrick is top 1%. Yeah. He gets that. I give him that. But I didn't come over here for your goddamn integrity and character and blah, 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 blah. The reason I'm supposed to be here, which is exactly what I was telling you about Pac, was the music. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to jam to some shit. You telling me about your motherfucking integrity. We'll figure that out as we go. But let's start with the music, because that's why we're here. If I want integrity, I go to my family. I mean, if I want character and integrity, I'm not going to be doing business with no stranger like that, where I need integrity and da-da-da-da-da. I mean, give or take, but you get my point. So we're here for the music. Press play. I'm communicating with Laws. He sent me, but it's a long process because the route he went to get himself unbanned was in person. And so, obviously, we don't have that privilege right now. So it's about trying to figure out, communication, and you already know how that goes. That friendship is for him. That friendship, niggas is cocking friendships, man, especially with billionaires. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it seems to be the only way at this point, because the communication part is not where those cats are not making any sense. I mean, listen. Yeah, it's nothing. There's no reason to have banned me. There really isn't when you look at it from all complexities. So, but they're playing hardball. These things happen. You know what I mean? These things happen. You know what I mean? But what am I going to say, man? I just got to keep it trucking. I just got to keep it trucking and keep moving forward. It'll be all right. No, I haven't talked to Moises. I haven't talked to Moises since then. But I heard he's a movie star now. I heard he's a movie star now. Oh shit, now it's saying it. Someone threw a nail bomb at Jake Lang in New York, which sent many people running. Within minutes, New York police arrested the alleged suspect. People are shouting that he was Muslim, and at this time, it's not confirmed. Sheesh. What do you mean? How did that happen? I'm catching up. I'm catching up. You're supposed to be telling me. You know, I'm catching up. One second. I'm just seeing this shit about a motherfucking nail bomb. Out of the blue when he comes. Yeah. Nah, I heard they shot a movie, so it was cool. It was cool. I gotta stop smoking, man. Let me turn this out. So, anyway, what else is going on in the world? In this world of live streaming. Unpopular opinions. Any unpopular opinions? Oh shit. Oh, they got him. Oh, that's the guy with the nail bomb or some shit. I was just looking at something. Dude with a nail bomb. So let me check some shit out. Like Dwight Howard. Files for divorce. Let's see this.
WordPress.com. Wake that ass up in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
So yesterday in court, this will be real quick because court was real quick. I didn't even make it by the time. It was like 7 to 10 minutes long, if that. They adjourned and decided that Diddy's sentencing date will be kept at October 3rd. Originally, as we talked about last week, Diddy's team was pushing for it to be expedited. And in a letter to the court, they had asked for a September 27th date. But then they wrote another letter to the court saying that they're just conceding and they're going to be okay with the original October 3rd date proposed by the court. So
Was Diddy in court yesterday?
it was virtual. So they were all.
That's not the one I was looking for. Where's this crime?
My stepdaughter was detained by CPS because of her father. CPS and the police have been here
I don't even see no tears.
in less than 3 months, and I stood in it with my husband, even though I was scared from my
My
own self.
husband, get the fuck out of here.
Whatever he wanted me to say, whatever it was, and I'm thinking this is my husband. I had everything
Shut the fuck up,
right.
husband. You're only saying that so you can get half. Fuck out of here. 6 months of marriage, you can't be using words like that. My husband. You barely know the dude.
Was detained by CPS because of her father.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
No wonder Dwight Howard's fiance would rather tolerate him spending $3 million a year on his illegitimate children than call off their engagement. Howard has never been married, yet he has 5 illegitimate children.
Fuck out of here. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up. Y'all be good. Tomorrow's another day. We out.